Good morning, everyone. Did you know that Jesus would break the law to save the soul? The passages of John, the 4th chapter, 3rd through the 27th verse, it details the unusual meeting of an unnamed Samaritan woman and Jesus at the well. This conversation details one of the true missions of which Jesus came here is to bring peace among all mankind. Jesus departed Judea, heading toward Galilee, but he took a route via Samaria. This was unusual for the Jews to take a route through Samaria. They avoided Samaria. There had been a long-standing clash between the Jewish people and the Samaritan people. But sometimes in life, either by no fault of our own or by our choice, we have to take a detour. It may be a result of job loss, medical issues, bankruptcies, divorce, or breakup in marriages. But through the grace of God, we all seem to get back always on track again. Jesus was sitting at the well. He was tired and he was thirsty. He was there for rest. Have you ever gotten weary from the journey? Working from 9 to 5, picking up your children from school, making dinner, making sure the house is clean, and then trying to take care of yourself. But Jesus came to give rest to the weary. As Jesus sat on the well, an unnamed Samaritan woman came to the well alone with her water pot. It was around midday. This was unusual for a woman to come to the well around midday and alone. Generally, the women came to the water pot as a group together. Either they came early in the morning or either late in the afternoon or the evening. For a woman to be at the well alone midday shows that she was a woman of shame or she was an outcast from the society. The other women did not want to associate with her. And Jesus asked the Samaritan woman to draw him a drink. She looked at him. I know you ain't asking me to bring you some water. You know, the Jews, y'all don't have no Samaritans, no dealing with us Samaritans people. And Jesus was probably thinking about, and she was thinking about the container. If a Jewish person had touched their lips on a container of a Samaritan person, it would have rendered the Jewish person unclean. Even having a conversation with a Samaritan woman was forbidden by the Jewish law. The Jewish leaders themselves rarely had conversations in public with a woman. But Jesus made the reference to the gift of God to the woman. And she was the gift of God. But he wasn't referring to a birthday present or a Christmas present or I just kind of like you present. He was offering the woman salvation and life everlasting. He offered her living water. And when he said living water, that kind of got her attention. She started to focus on what he was saying because she was familiar with living water. Living water was the best type of water. It was flowing water. It was fresh water. It was better than the water that's caught in the rain barrels and just sit up and then can get stale. And then when she was sitting there talking to her, she said, wait a minute. He's referring to living waters. Now, are you better than Jacob? She presented this question to Jesus. And Jesus saw that the water that he offered her told her, she said, you will never thirst again. And the Samaritan woman, what you say? Because she hated going to the well to draw water. She knew the other women hated her. This got her attention. But what she failed to realize that Jesus was offering the gift of salvation and everlasting life if we choose to decide to accept this gift. But then Jesus he had her attention. He had her mindset. He totally caught her off guard. He brought up about her past husbands and said that the man that you're with now, that's not your husband. The Samaritan woman, knowing that this is not something this man could have known about, it got her attention and it got her to thinking. And as she was there in her thought, that was the opportunity for Jesus to bring up about worshiping God in spirit and truth, that the day was going to come. And she was like, well, I know that the Messiah is coming, and that when he comes, he's going to tell us all things. And Jesus looked at the woman, and he told her, he said, I am the Messiah. I have come. And taking into consideration the things that Jesus had told her about things that no one else should have known, the Samaritan woman was so overwhelmed with emotion that she dropped her pot. She left her pot at the well. And her leaving the pot at the well is dynamic, because her leaving the pot at the well represents her leaving her past behind her, her leaving her sin behind her, and that she's going on into a new life. And she ran into the city, and she was telling the people about this man. He knew things all about me. He knew things that no one should have known. This man is the Messiah. His name is Jesus. Its salvation is for all mankind in every race, nationality, and economic creed, status or economic status. Yes, it is. God will break the law to ensure your salvation. Are you willing to accept God's offer of living water? Or are you going to stay stuck with bottled water? I offer you Christ today.